it's Chrissy from Pinovate. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. This tutorial is for our wooden layered decor kit. So this kit could include anything from our Halloween pumpkins, some layered Christmas ornaments, or any other seasonal project where you have multiple layers of laser cut wood. So your layers could go anywhere from 2 layers up to 4, depending on which kit that you have. But grab all of your supplies and follow along and we'll make this together. So in your layered wooden decor kit, you're going to receive a few different things. So the first one are going to be your layered laser cut wooden pieces. And these are going to change depending on whichever kit you have. It could be something seasonal for Easter or Valentine's Day or Halloween. This kit, the instructions we're going to use are Christmas ornaments. You're also going to receive a variety of paint as well as some makeup sponges to paint with. So grab all of your supplies and we'll get started. Okay, so here's a sample of one of our ornaments. So this one has 4 layers in it and they're all painted slightly different colors. So I have pulled apart my ornament that I am working on and I'm going to paint my very, very back piece first. So this piece I want to paint black. So I have my paint on my plate and I'm going to be using a makeup sponge. So with this allows us to use the smallest amount of paint possible and it's going to give you great even coverage. So with your makeup sponge, I'm using the very, very back, almost a square flat side. I'm taking a little bit of paint and I'm gonna dab it off. I just want a little bit of paint on there, not a lot whatsoever. And I'm going to, in a dabbing motion, paint the very back of my ornament. So I'm going up and down. So I'm not painting side to side. I'm just going straight up and down. And that's going to allow the paint to dry very, very quickly and leave it nice and even. Okay, so I've put 2 really thin coats of paint on my back piece of my ornament. That makeup sponge works so great in just giving the thinnest little layers that they dry nice and quickly. So I'm gonna place this to the side and grab my next piece. And for this, I want to paint this green. So in the paint that I have, I don't actually have a green, so I'm going to have to mix my blue and my yellow together to get the green that I want. Okay, so I have my blue and my yellow paint ready and I'm gonna mix these to make a green shade for my trees. Now you don't need very much paint because we're using the makeup sponge. It gives such a nice thin layer on there that you don't need to mix much paint at all. And you can use this for any of your layers, any color that you want to make. Okay, so I'm happy with this shade of green that I have mixed and I'm going to go into my next layer using the exact same method. I'm using the back of my sponge and I'm taking a little bit of paint at a time. I don't want too much at all. I'm gonna dab that off and then I'm going to go into here and again, just straight up and down motions. I want to be very careful with these detailed areas that I'm not getting too much paint into those small holes. So again, just straight up and down, a small amount of paint. You can always add more paint and more layers, but you can't take it off. It's very, very tricky to take it off if you have too much paint on there. So again, nice thin layers all the way around. Let it dry and you can do a second coat to give it a little bit more depth. So I finished the green on my trees here and I'm moving on to my next layer. I'm going to be doing my little deer and I've already mixed a gray, so I mixed some black and some white together. The exact same technique. I'm using the back of my sponge, dipping gently into my paint, and again, I just want small, thin coats. The thinner the better, and you can just do multiple layers. All right, so I have finished 2 layers on my last layer here. One more layer to go. So this is going to be the top that I have, and I'm going to do this with white because obviously there's some snowflakes on there. Again, I want to do very, very thin coats. We have some very small openings in here. So if you happen to get paint stuck in there, and while it's still wet, you can actually go in with a toothpick and try and get that out before it dries. All right. Okay, so I have finished my last layer here. I have 2 coats on there. I'm just gonna set that aside to dry, and then we're going to assemble it. If you are looking to paint multiple colors on one of your layers, there are a couple different ways you can do that. You can actually take some masking tape and mask out the area that you don't want it to bleed over onto. And you can use the end of your makeup sponge and actually bend it and squish it into the shape that you're needing for that area. So you are capable of doing multiple colors on one layer for sure, if that is what you're looking for. All right, so here comes the assembly. I have all of my layers all painted. I'm happy with how they look, and they are definitely dry to the touch. So now we have to stack them together and use our adhesive on the back. So your kit should come with 3M adhesive. This is a double-sided tape or glue, if you will. And you're just going to peel off that backing on here. Okay, so I have my 3M adhesive ready to go. The best way to do this is to stand up so you can see it overhead to make sure that you're aligning it properly. So I have my trees ready, and then this part is gonna go on top of my trees. So I'm gonna line it up, looking straight from above, making sure this is where I want it to go. And once I'm happy with where it's lined up and all my edges are level, I'm going to give it a big press, especially around the outer edge. So then this layer is ready to go, and I'm going to do the same thing for each of the others. So my ornament is all finished, everything is stuck together. I just need to add a little string and hang it on my Christmas tree. Some of our kits are actually more of a tabletop decor piece. So once you have finished all of your layering, like we did with our ornament, you can stand it up on its stand and it will be vertical on your tablescape. Thank you so much for following along our wooden layered decor piece tutorial. We cannot wait to see what you have created. It could be any of our seasonal decor, including our ornaments, or perhaps something for Valentine's Day or Easter. So please tag us with your creations on Pinterest at Pinovate and DIY Delivery. And follow us. We are on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok now, as well as Twitter and Pinterest. Thanks again for following along. See you later.